maybe you just randomly from the algorithm clicked on this, but regardless, hello!
Let's begin, shall we?
Major, what are you cooking? Also, I appreciate you. That one. Hi, hello. How is everyone doing? How is your weekends going? Yay for no work tomorrow. Cannon! Hi, hello, welcome in. How are you doing? Green chili chicken enchiladas. Delicious. I did chicken burrito bowls for meal prep this week. So, kind of same wavelength, I feel. Working on the chicken now. Next is a sauce. Nice. Got all your tomatillos roasted. Major with the 55. You've been here for them all. Big chillin', starting a new job at a pizzeria tomorrow, so I'm hyped to be employed again. Nice. Okay. Green chilies are the base. Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure with green enchilada sauce if it was like a chili base or a tomatillo base. I guess I would be more like tomatillo salsa, but yeah, I agree. Sounds like a badass enchilada. Alright, let us start off with our movie puzzle, see if we can keep our streak going. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Alright. So JFK, so my first guess would be Kevin Costner. C-O-S-T-N-E-N... C-O-S-N-E-R? Something like that? I don't know how to spell Kevin Costner's last name. Few Good Men. Jack Nicholson. Vincent Vega. John Travolta's character in Pulp Fiction. The Prestige. So it's not Hugh Jackman. Christian Bale is the other lead. Scarlett Johansson. Michael Caine. Rebecca Hall. Andy, is this going to be Andy Serkis? Yep, I think so. Starting to think my JFK might be incorrect. The wrestler... Marissa Tomei? Because it's not Tomei, I think. Might be Mickey Rourke, though. And then Troy... so it's either Brad Pitt or Eric Bana. Alright, yeah. I messed up something here. Okay, the Kevin Costner is wrong. I don't remember who else is in... So I feel like this might be an S. So we have a Sandra, possibly. Armageddon. Steve Buscemi, possibly? Donnie Brasco. I've actually never seen Donnie Brasco. Shh, don't tell anyone. I'll get in trouble. No, I'm just joking. I know that's Johnny Depp and Al Pacino, but neither of those fit there, so we're gonna skip that. Scarface 1983. I don't know how to spell Pfeiffer. Maybe? P-F-E... Okay. I was missing the I. Ant-Man! Paul Rudd. Oh, okay. Yeah, we got Sandra Bullock is gonna be the main answer. Traffic. The Thin Red Line. One of the all-time best movies. Weird thing is, it just has a very large cast. No. Possibly Mickey Rourke? We were still wrong, and it was Sean Bean. Even though Brad Pitt also worked. All right. So Sissy Spacek was in JFK. Really? I watched that once, probably like 15 years ago. So yeah. Fucking. So now, anytime Troy comes up and it's a 4 and 4, it could be Brad Pitt, Eric Bana, or Sean Bean. Oof. Donnie Brasco, Paul Giamatti's in it. Okay. And then, okay, Tatum O'Neal won her Oscar in 1974. I think at that time she was the youngest winner. She might still be. I don't know if Anna Paquin. Youngest to win an Oscar. Okay, so it is still Tatum O'Neal. In Paper Moon, I watched that movie. Not my favorite. Yeah, for this specific puzzle, it didn't matter that we got that one wrong because it still was the correct letter. Yeah, the Tatum O'Neal one is kind of weird though because she was in Paper Moon, literally acting next to her actor father, Brian O'Neal. So, yeah, whatever. GG's. Ah, I spelled Benicio del Toro wrong. Oh well. That's funny. We got Mickey Rourke for the last one, um, but he was also the lead in The Wrestler. So, well done, team. Kept our streak alive. Still keeping our 92% success rate. So we're doing all right. Now, let's move on in our reading and writing stream to do some reading and writing. Alright, so previously, we finished up the storyline with Helene walking into a trap set up by Bryn, and then we jumped over to Margaret and what she's been up to since the last time we saw her, leaving San Francisco. Saw a crossword one time where a clue was the best sci-fi franchise star blank with 4-letter answer. Yeah, that's rough. See, I would lean, based on that phrasing, to go Star Trek. Not because I think it's the best sci-fi franchise, but because it is purely sci-fi. Whereas Star Wars has elements of like fantasy and other things. But yeah, that is rough when like you're trying to figure it out and you're like, well, if it's this, this could work, this could work, this could work. Or if it's that, that could work, that could work, that could work. So sometimes you just can never win. For sure, but they were definitely going for joke of either one. Okay. Yeah, so we picked up with Margaret in the 1960s in Arizona. She's living on a ranch, and Serafina and Letitia show up, start asking questions. They tell her they don't know where Helene would be. And then Letitia looks into Margaret's memories to see that what she's been up to is she's been in a relationship with Nayeli. Margaret is not happy that they did this, gets them to leave, and then Nayeli shows up and kind of asks who they were. Margaret doesn't tell her exactly, but she kind of says someone she used to know, basically. And that is where we left off. So we didn't finish kind of our last descriptive sentence of Nayeli's reaction to... What did she say? Anything we have to worry about? Curious but not pursuing. Alright, now I want to look at her outline because I was trying to think, what did I write that was coming after this so I could start thinking about it, and like I could not remember. Alright, so later that night after dinner, Margaret is sitting on the porch. Her conversation with Serafina and Letitia on her mind. Nayeli joins her, asks her what's on her mind. Says past, can't go back. Okay, and then we're gonna jump to present day. But I feel like there's more, yeah. Alright. Yeah, I have been kind of thinking about it, and I think Margaret needs to confess to Naomi that she is a witch in this upcoming scene. And I think that'll allow us to talk about one of the notes I had from way back about describing how witchcraft works in this universe. So I think that's what we're going to do. And then the progression of their relationship and seeing Helene imprisoned. Oh, that reminds me. I need to change something. Timeout. We'll come back to this. Um, so when Helene and Bryn get to the Hunter's underground base, I want the machine at the center to be under construction. So that when we come back to it later, it'll be fully constructed. And so that kind of is why we need the time gap there. Anyway, sorry. Minor thing I want to change for later. So, moving forward, we're going to go porch, Margaret's Ranch, night. Right, because we have, yeah, Margaret's Ranch. Not distracted. Preoccupied. Alright, starting the sauce officially, which means I need to focus. Keep you on TV while I cook. Alright, Major. Yeah. Focus on your sauce. I'm sure it will turn out delicious. Let us know how it turns out. And I always appreciate you being here. Nellie exits from the house, nears Margaret. Head of yours. Yes. No? Okay. Sorry, I was trying to look and see if it's a phrase that I've heard used before, but wasn't 100% if the yours was possessive or not. If it needed an apostrophe. Silas! Hi, hello. How's it going? How's your weekend been? Can't sleep. Just gave up trying for the moment. Aw. That stings when you aren't able to get to sleep. It's fair. Don't think I've ever encountered the phrase written out. Yeah. It's one of those things where, like, you can hear something said a bunch, but then when you write it out, you have to think about, okay, what is each of these words doing? Do I need each of these words? Yeah. It happens. This is the first time I've seen you. Yeah, we got a new webcam. Um, yeah, just wanted something new for stream, so I was like, let's see if I can find a decent one and a decent price. I was able to, so yeah. Decided to add something new to the stream. did that. Hmm. So what is her response gonna be to that? Because like, part of me wants her to just like laugh, like that's kind of ridiculous. But I feel like in the world we've constructed, like there are probably I don't know what a good analogy would be. I feel like if witches really existed in a world, it would be kind of like a lot of like the urban legends almost. Like there would be more stories about people who have had encounters with witches, um, or like aliens and UFOs, something kind of akin to that. I don't necessarily believe that any of that's necessarily real, but I feel like there would be more stories, but they wouldn't be kind of like publicly known, if that makes sense. Yeah, I just feel like that's probably the most interesting reaction. Because, like, Margaret's kind of building up to, like, she's thinking about it, and then she's like, alright, I have to tell you, it's something serious. She tells her, and then Natalie just laughs at it. Like, that would definitely just undercut it and not be the expected response, I think. What's a different word for laughs? Yeah, chortle, chuckles, giggles. Don't forget potions. Yeah. I should have all this stuff like right on top of my head because I am playing Hogwarts Legacy right now, and so like, yeah, I got all the witchy and wizardy stuff top of mind at the moment. CONN. Haven't worked on my language stuff for a while now. Don't know if I can do anything at the moment with my sleepy brain. Should get back to it. Yeah, that's always tough when like you want to work on something, but life and other stuff gets in the way. Or, just end up procrastinating for 2 or 3 months. Yeah. Artemis! Hi, hello, welcome in. How are you doing? How's your weekend? Is this a first draft? Yes. Um, so yeah, the white text is what we're currently writing. The kind of grayish text down below is our outline, and yeah, we're just trying to finish up the first draft right now. Okay, so how old is Margaret? So I believe I need to go back and look at the conversation between Bryn and Helene in her office when Bryn talks about getting saved by her. $12.07. That's when Liverpool is Alright, so what was happening in England in the 1600s? Right? No. In the 600s. Territorial war, yeah. America. I want... We already used somber as a descriptive, but I want... Gonna think about how to say what I want Margaret to say. I'm gonna take a quick break because we are just over an hour into stream. Bye, I'm disappearing. I'm still here currently, but I am going to throw up some words on stream for anyone who would like to participate. There they are. There are the words. They are on the stream. It's going to show you a bunch of letters. You type words into chat based on the letters. If it is a word, it'll pop up. Easy enough, right? Alright, I will be back shortly. Have fun. 3, 2, 1, go. done, team. Hey Virgo, hi, hello, welcome in. How are you? Uh, yeah, nice job with a hard carry for the stream. Let's switch that off, turn that back on. Hi, hello, I'm back. Um, yeah, let's get back into trying to do some writing and things. Alright, so we're in our conversation with Margaret and Ellie. Okay, I think we hit on everything, kind of, I wanted to get in that scene. So we have Margaret's deep in thought, the revelation, Nellie trying to wrap her head around it. Some details, but the main thing, they live forever. And so they kind of talk around the fact that Margaret's going to outlive Nellie. And she's not sure if that's going to change things between them. But Nellie says, nope. Alright, so now we have kind of two things we want to show a progression of. Margaret and Naomi's relationship and Helene while she's imprisoned. And that'll lead us up to present day, Bryn stopping by, talking Margaret into going to help her. They infiltrate the hunters. Climax, resolution, end. So, we're getting close. What are we at? 91 pages? We're doing alright. Now, gotta figure out what we want to show in each of their lives happening over this time. So, the progression of Margaret and Ellie, Helene. So this is going to be kind of almost like an expansive montage. So the part with Margaret and Natalie is going to end with Natalie dying. Kind of has to. And then I also want to have a scene of Margaret explaining magic, because we want that. I think that was like my first note. Yeah, the explanation of magic in the world. Wrong tab. Sorry. Sylvie! Hi, hello, welcome in. How's your weekend going? Oh, it's probably not weekend for you anymore, though. I'm doing good. Yeah, in the States, tomorrow, Monday, is a holiday, so no work tomorrow! And I work from home on Tuesday, so, yeah, I'm enjoying it. Yep, we got Memorial Day on Monday. I could go for a holiday. For real. Yeah, I got a vacation coming up end of next month? End of June, I believe. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm very much looking forward to that, to get away from everything for a little while. So, then with Helene, what is the progression for her going to be? Well, kind of two things, because, like, what's the progression going to be for her, but also how do we communicate that? Because if she's imprisoned, I doubt she'll be able to just, like, talk to someone and explain it in dialogue, so gonna have to think about that. Journaling, yeah, that was kind of the next thought that ran through my mind, but I was thinking I don't know if they would give her, like, pen and paper. Because she's not just, like, imprisoned in a regular jail or prison. Is like prison for witches. So it's a bit more hardcore. Hi, hello, welcome in. Sorry, I don't know how to say your name. Uh, Fominsky? Let me know if that's right, wrong, close. They do therapy, psychologic sessions. Maybe they're studying her. Hmm, maybe. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, one of the parts of the progression of her scene is she's going to see this machine that the hunters are building, and that's why they want all the witches, because they want to absorb all the magic from them. So I don't know. Oh, yeah. We have. That is kind of an overview of the story. Um, yeah, we're kind of getting into the end of the second act and ramping up to the climax soon. So we're pretty deep into it, but we need to set up some things for the climax, and I'm trying to figure out the best way to set those up. As hunters, they have people studying all the ways just understand other than observation. Yeah. Spin ideas. Oh, no, I appreciate ideas because it, like, even if it's not what I'm envisioning, it at least gets me thinking and having to justify why I would or would not use it. So it's kind of helpful either way. Okay. Because I believe. Yeah, we have some of the other Dianic witches are also captured. So one of hers will be sees other Dianic witches captured. images from her past. The only thing I can't come up with is the first thing I need to write, of course. Alright, we're just going to put in a placeholder, and then we'll come back to it. Underground base or bunker, did we call it? Base. Helene in her cell. That's all I got. We'll come back to it. So is there a specific name for the, like, small table in a kitchen for eating? Wasn't sure if it was breakfast nook or not. Small informal dining area located within directly or adjacent. Yeah. So how do they work, spells? What would that be called? Like the process? Intended. There we go. Alright, so we had Margaret explained magic. Helene, we still don't know what her first thing's gonna be. machine. Okay, so how would the hunters... bring in newly captured witches? They would probably want them already in cells. And I'm imagining, like, if this is an abandoned missile silo, that the witches' cells are kind of, like, around the outside, probably hanging from chains. I don't know, I just think that's probably a cool visual. Zatera. Hi, hello, welcome in. How are you doing? How is your weekend going? I'm gonna take a wild guess, and I could be very wrong. Is your username a reference to Zatanna Zatara? It's actually a Monte Cristo reference. Okay. Yeah. I'm much more of a DC Comics nerd than a classic literature nerd, but it's alright. We appreciate all types of nerds in here. Doing well, creative energies are firing on all cylinders. Nice! That's what we like to hear. We are trying to do the words. Some of the words are wording, some are a bit slow going. But progress is progress. Um, Trying to think of how to describe. Because I imagine like they would bring in a bunch at a time. Anything for progress, and everything too. Exactly. So if we just said a flatbed truck, would that be what I'm thinking of? Or would we want flatbed semi-truck? Yeah, more of a flatbed semi-truck. I don't want to say base because we call it a base, and to say the base of the base is saying base too many times. packed onto. Keep wanting to use the same word over and over, and I don't want to do that. Yeah, my repeat words creep up on. Yeah. No. No, no, no. So what if we say trunk instead? No. I guess we could just call it the hold. We just have to rewrite that line. So let's say instead. Finds. Hi, hello. Welcome in, Chasing Lamely, and all the raiders. Hope you had a great stream. Playing Cities Skylines 2. Nice. I do not know what that game is, but I hope you all had fun. So my target engine. There we go. Just rewrite the line. That's how we do it. CS2 is like SimCity, but fancier. Sometimes we world build, sometimes we build worlds. Nice. Yeah, back in... I don't remember if it was like middle school or high school. Whenever Roller Coaster Tycoon came out, me and my brothers got really into that. I think that's the last, like, world building type game I played. That one was very fun. But, yeah, sounds like it was a fun stream. Well, you know what happens. So hot here in the UK that I don't have the energy to do anything serious. Oh, fair. Yeah, our temperature out by me has been kind of all over the place. Like, it was in the 90s like 2 days ago. Oh, yeah, we're in Fahrenheit, so I don't know if this actually means anything to you, but yeah, it's been highs in the 90s and highs in the 70s, so yeah, we've just no consistency. So, been staying inside with the air conditioning and my fans going to try to stay nice and cool. Writing streak from January 1st continues. Nice. Yeah, I try to write every weekday at least. It's currently 86. Ooh, inside. Ooh, and it's 1 a.m. Ooh. Yeah, that does not sound fun. I hope it cools down quickly for you. It was 95 at midday. Yeah, that's a big no for me. No, that pain in my house just bakes in the sun, takes hours to release that. Yeah, currently in North Texas. Yeah, not writing weather, but same tomorrow. Reading a book in an ice. Yeah, yeah. Uh, do not blame you for that. Sounds like a solid plan, though. Accepted all hardships for my resolution. 365 days, straight days of writing. That that is a good resolution. I I have found for me taking weekends off personally helps. I'm saying this as I'm writing on a Sunday. Um, yeah, I always look at stream writing separately from what I write in my personal time. In my personal time, the thing I write is just Monday through Friday. And then kind of take Saturday and Sunday off, kind of let my mind settle, and a lot of times just stepping away from it, I can think about it a little more clearly. But everyone has their own way, so if kind of forcing yourself to write every day is what you need to do, then you should do that. Like a guide to how hot it is. I froze a bottle of water earlier, took it out before I started streaming about 3 or 4 hours ago. Now it's too warm to drink. Ah, yeah, that does not sound fun. Can't write every day anymore. Let it be fair. Ticked off goal number one this year. With my writing by publishing a novel. TV pilot was 14 years ago, just got the movie musical to take off, and I'm just writing to add stats. Nice. Yeah, for me, I just enjoy writing, and I found it helps as an outlet for everything in my brain to just kind of get it out, so I just enjoy it as a hobby. I'd like for it to be more, but if it's just a hobby, it's just a hobby, that's fine. One point, I left my pirate story on the back burner untouched for about a year. Now I'm trying to recondition myself to write regardless of what's going on. 100 words is the target baseline, because I know some days will suck. Yeah, that's good that you give yourself at least a bit of grace with kind of your minimum of how much you want to do. And like we were talking about earlier, like even if you get out like just over 100 words and they're not great, like that's still progress and it's still putting words on the page, and with editing you can always go back later and make them better. Alright, now I have a problem. Nah, we might just avoid it altogether. uh, See, this is why I'd stop writing every day. If I sit down to write, my brain demands 4,000 words before I stop. Definitely the tism, but forcing 4K every day is yeah. Yeah, I never set word number goals. Um, I just go by timing, so I just make sure Monday through Friday, at least 1 hour every day, I'm writing or editing. It's university condition, 5 classes a week, each class demanding 1 to 2K per week, so I got in the habit of smashing it all out in 2 sit. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, I don't love that, but for right now, it is fine. Yeah, so I kind of wrote myself into a not great situation. Yeah, occasionally my brain goes literally smash out a novel per semester for a degree you don't use. You can write one for every now and again, right? 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 Yeah. Yeah, there have been a couple of stories that I ended up writing just so I could stop thinking about them. Because I was just like, I don't, kind of fixated on certain stories, or I can. And so, like, if I just can't get them out of my head, I'm like, alright, just gonna write it, get it out of my head so I can move on to something else instead. Alright, I need to add a note to myself. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not in classes right now. Just a hobby. Looking to elevate something more meaningful. Yeah. I feel like that is the boat with the most people. Alright. Well, we're just over 2 hours. Okay. Yeah, the words aren't really wording much anymore, so this might be a good place to call it for tonight. So let's see how much progress we've made. Ah, just under 700 words. Yeah, I found our range is usually like a little over 400 to um, a little over 700. So 692 is definitely on the higher end of that. So I feel like we made pretty good progress this evening. All right, we are going to leave it there for this evening. I'm going to go away so I can. I've always got projects stacking, 20k in the next novel, 10 pages in the next screenplay. I already know what the next 3 novels look like. Got a musical coming up together in pieces. Luckily, gaming content cycles is winding down for the year, so I can go full-time writing for 2 months from July. Ooh, yeah, that is a lot to have on your plate. Yeah, let's go right over there. Alright, yeah, we are going to go right out to another reading, writing streamer. I hope they're in reading. Yeah, they are. Okay. Um, yeah, we're going to go over there and see what they are up to. Thank you, everyone who stopped by, hung out, lurked, chatted. Chasing Lamely, thanks again for the raid. Um, yeah, I will be back on Tuesday, and we will pick up with the story. Um, yeah, try to get through this kind of last little section, then we're kind of off to the races with the kind of last act of it. So we're getting close to finishing up our first draft. So hopefully next couple weeks we'll be able to finish that up, get into the editing, all that fun stuff. But yeah, I will be back on Tuesday. Until then, I hope you all have a good start to your week, and I will see you next time. Bye.
Thanks for checking out my channel. Do whatever you want, live your life. Hope you're happy in your body. Much love to you, and see you around.